Faulkner said that you'll never see him run the same play from the same formation twice in a game. And I think when he says that, what he means is he won't do that against opponents that are of equal talent or similar talent, because I'm pretty sure, as you can see here, this is going to wind up being the same play. Right? You've seen this play, and you can already guess what's going to happen. GT counter, saw this play earlier. It's almost like a carbon copy. There it is. And literally, same thing again. Blast this guy out of there. No safety. And we're gone. There you go. Touchdown. Now, if you're wondering why this is occurring, well, it depends on how they're going to play this, right? And so you got 2x2 on either side over here. They've got a hanger defender out here, and they're stacking here and stacking here. So effectively, right, the counter run works really well because you're threatening to pull this to this side of the field, where if you can get this guy to step over at all, he's not going to be able to make a play. He's going to come in this window here. And that's what leaves the middle wide open. So let's watch this again in real time. There he is. He reads run. So his job is now to fill this edge piece here, which is what he's going to do. But now, because we're going to take this lane thinking, oh, it's a counter run, I've got to get over here, you have no safety help, right? Normally, he might be sitting here and he might be sitting here. They can fill this. They are not there thanks to the formation. And now, because he misses that play and the hanger defender is over here, it leads to 6, right? That's why that's working. New drive now, and a little bit of the tip of the hand at what Faulkner thinks that Philo does well. We're going to roll him out to the right again. He likes rolling him out. A lot of these plays, you're seeing a moving pocket from Philo here, which tells you that he wants to get him into a rhythm, primarily by not just having him stand in the pocket. So we'll see if that holds true during this offseason and this season. But we're going to roll out to the right. And right here, rolling out right, we've got time. I'd like to see him, of course, ID what's going to happen here. This is your dropper. He's not going to get there, right? You love to see a flat-footed safety staring at you, cannot guard your receiver running a deep post here, and just let this thing rip for 6. I'd love to see that. That's a better read. That's the A+ read. There it is. He's gone. I mean, you can put this ball anywhere you want, right? As long as you don't throw it way over here, that's a touchdown. You're good. But we're going to look for this one. That's probably the primary receiver here. In all fairness, this is a clear out route, but it's still live. It's still there. And we're going to make a really nice throw here because this is a much harder throw. Again, this is the throw I would want my quarterback to take. This one is a lot tougher. He's within range, and he's over the top. Now we've got to fit this into a window here, and we're rolling to our right. Much more challenging throw on the run, but he's going to make this is an excellent throw. I mean, it's an excellent throw there. It's a really tough throw. You're rolling right. You can see how close this defender is to the ball right here, and he delivers that ball on target. Right, full run out to the right. So again, something I think Faulkner thinks he does well. He's featured it already in this game. And a nice completion there, but you got 6 up top there if you were taking that instead. We've talked a good amount last season about option routes and how in college football, a lot of teams do not run option routes. Of course, the NFL has become increasingly more progression read based instead of even half field or more of what you would consider to be maybe 5, 6, 8, 9 years ago. There would have been a lot of pre-snap, post-snap reading based upon grass, but it's moved to pure progression. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that there are, of course, option routes being run on many, many plays in the NFL. Not so much in college, but every time you see something like this, you always just think of how powerful option routing is. Because, for example, if on this trip set, you give your receivers here, and we're running a flood concept here, right? We're going to run 3 to the boundary. I'm going to show you what they run. We're running 3 to the boundary right here. So you're going corner, and then you're basically going deep corner is what you're doing here, right? Call this a deep out if you want. So you're going 1, 2, 3 to the boundary. And that's great. You're flooding something. It's fantastic. But if you give your receiver an option, so here you are pre-snap with this look here, safety way over here, right? Could be pre-snap cover 2 man, could be cover 2, could be many things, but certainly looks like going to be some sort of cover 2 potentially. And then you get a guy who stays low in the hole. So at this point in time, if you're this receiver right here, right, you just know you're wide open for a touchdown on the seam. Wide open. And so if you're giving either one of these guys an option route, he might have the option route. You might tag him as the option route here where you say, hey, you either break this to the sideline or you take this seam if you're open. Quarterback's going to roll out and read that. And then you just have the easiest touchdown of all time. Instead, they're going to run the flood concept, and you're going to see this actually complicates things a bit. Because now you've got what you want. You've got two guys on the low guy, you've got your dig open, and you've got your bailer coming hard to this deep route. But again, no one's getting to this part of the field, which you're just avoiding. That's an aside for offensive structure. But Philo's now rolling out to his left, avoids the pressure, rolls out to his left, throws rolling to his left, and delivers a really nice ball here. This ball is out of range, right? You have to put again, this is going to be a top level A++ throw to rip one rolling left to the back of the end zone. Your real throw here is to beat this guy who's voided his responsibility and is collapsing incorrectly on the low player. So you want to take your mid player right here and you want to take this shot, but you can't throw him to where he's going. You got to throw him to a space that's inside of that, which he does. It's a really good ball, right? Notice how he doesn't put him over here into danger. He puts it right on him right here. And that's kind of the same example I gave if you had run the option route in the first place to here. Your quarterback just sees that space and just delivers a strike right there. You find a spot in the zone, you've got to have the option. But good on Georgia Tech for running the routes they're supposed to run there. You need to run the routes you're coached to run. If you have an option, don't void your route, right? You got to run it. But a nice ball here from Philo. Avoid the traffic, rolling onto his left. Throws a really clean ball on target right there on the face mask. Great. That's a good throw. He can roll right. He can roll left. Clearly, again, he's comfortable throwing outside the pocket. He has some mobility to him and he can throw on the run. That's a plus thing. It's something Faulkner wants. It's a must for his quarterbacks. They have to be mobile enough to extend plays and be dangerous. And you see it right there. And unfortunately, they do not get the touchdown. Stopped right there on the 1 yard line. It's a nice example of a free play here. We talked a lot about this last year too. Teams often are going to play cover 3, even though here they're set up looking like, again, looks like could be a cover 2 man, right? Could be a lot of different things, of course, but certainly looks like you got man here on the edges. But a lot of times teams in the red zone, they're going to bail, especially because they know Georgia Tech will take shots. We saw it earlier. It's one of the advantages of taking shots. And Georgia Tech here, hard count to see, right? This is all smart football. Gather information, hard count, and then look. And then what do you see? They're both bailing. Now at this level, most of the time, especially against Gardner-Webb, they're not going to adjust what they were just in. They're going to stay right in it. That also kills me, by the way. It's not rocket science right now to get a signal into your players not to do that. But a lot of teams don't take advantage of this stuff. Billy Napier certainly didn't for the most part, right? But if you're Georgia Tech and you're Faulkner there, so you can see him barking out calls right here. He's going to make sure he gets this right. Now he knows he has 2 bailers on the outside. There it is. And we got cover 3. You've ID'd cover 3. Let's take the hitch. Right? Now, if you want to go really aggressive, let's run a cover 3 beater for a touchdown. Let's run 4 verts. I love that. But in this look in the formation Georgia Tech's in, let's just get ourselves out of the shadow of our own end zone and let's stick this hitch route on the bailer. Really good football right here. One more time. Let's watch his footwork. Play fake, right foot, throw. Now that's perfect. This is the first A+ play we've seen all film review, in my opinion. Get the ball. This is quick game. Fake, right foot load, throw. That's what you want. No wasted motion, no ball padding, no resetting. This is absolutely perfect in quick game. Open, shoulders toward target, perfect ball on the face mask, and that leads to a chunk play, right? Really, really well executed there from Philo. Another 3-level concept here from Georgia Tech. Going to bring in motion. Receiver here, set him here, and then clear out here, and then a wheel here. So this is a nice, I love, again, we displayed this combo a couple times last year, talking about running this go wheel behind it, but a 3-level play. Really nice stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can do off a look like this, a lot of stuff. We'll talk about it in a different film review perhaps, but very, very dangerous. They're faking the screen here, but you can see, and this is pretty great. Like, I wonder if they caught this on film review for Gardner-Webb, but sorry, I can't help it. He's bailing, but then he's actually gonna, I'm just catching him at the funny moment where he's turning around, but film review is funny like this because you can get him, like that. It's like, what are you doing? You do not want to turn like that for obvious reasons, by the way, but he's bailing and getting depth. But either way, you got 2 really defending 3 here, and he's out of the play for now, obviously, right? A lot you can do with this. 4 hash, right foot set, ready to roll. He's looking back at the quarterback and he's bailing. So Philo's got the read confirmed. Right foot sets. Now he's got to wait for the timing. Timing is not great. Not ready. Now he sets and right now delivers. Now this is another A+ throw. Why is it A+? He was flat-footed. You can see we're not even past him yet and he's bailing. This is trusting your read. Trust what your eyes see. Really clean throw. He's flat. He's down reading. He cannot win. He cannot beat your player right here. And now you're going to go far hash, not an easy throw here, far hash over his head. Set, deliver, strike. On time, strike. Now, if you wait a little bit, you're going to introduce him back into the picture because he's going to pick this up, right? So really, really nice ball by Philo right there. Chunk play, in stride, great throw. On this play, Philo is going to get pressure here, top of your screen. Going to get pressure, top of your screen, motion over, gets pressure. Now, oftentimes when you want to throw hot, you do want to throw where the pressure came from, right? But you're going into the boundary here, tight part of the field, small area, and Georgia Tech has a good call on here. You've got another hot short throw right here. Let's watch it. Right here. Obviously, he's wide open, right? But he immediately commits to this throw, and now you just don't have a lot of space. He's taking away your space. You got a bailing corner. You do have this. It is available. I'm not going to give him a minus point on this read here, but now you got to make a throw through that defender, right? And that's not how you want to make a living right here. This is not, the angles just aren't right for this, or you need to create your own angle to be able to get around that. So he just drops straight back into the lane. And, if you're an opposing coach, you see this on film and say, hey, great, I want to bring some pressure just like this into the window. If he's going to look primarily down into the boundary and a look like that, I'll live with that all day long, right? That's a really tough throw. It's to his left. It's right into an oncoming defender. Instead, you'd rather see this here, right? And look, they're showing a simulated pressure, sim pressure here. You don't know where anyone's coming from yet. You got to slide your protection. You got to handle a lot of stuff on this to get to that. But ideally, you got one here, right? So pressure comes here. You might snap your head here and take this, only because this window becomes very difficult the way it is. This is a well-designed pressure by Bowling Green here, right? That worked. Sim pressure worked. And then they actually brought pressure. So they're simulating it, and they're bringing it, and it gets through. He does make, again, traditionally an accurate read. Where the pressure comes from is often a good place to go, right? But you had a lot of options here. You had a lot of options. Pretty much any other option would have been better, most likely, in this play, right? Even here and here, better. So on that one, read, not great. Got pressured, yes. Read, could have been better. If you're going to play in Faulkner's system, you need to be able to run. Much like Mullen in that regard. Different styles, but Mullen also just needed a willing runner. No matter who it was, he needed to at least run the ball a couple of times, right? Just enough to be like, hey, it can be done. And Philo is not a plus runner. He's not a minus runner either. I would say he's like an average plus. So not a full plus, but like an average plus. He can run. He does have enough mobility. Not going to blow you away, but he can do it. Here's an example of it here, right? Little fake here on the sweep, and then pulling guard. You're going to see a lot of pulling action here, right? Going to pull across and right up the gut, right here. Makes a couple of guys miss, gets down to the 4-yard line. So he's not going to blow you away, but he is a capable and willing runner and can run and will run. If he winds up winning the job, you should expect him to run the ball probably 4 to 5 times a game. On plays like that. Again, Faulkner's philosophy is not to do it in the most obvious situations. Not a Tim Tebow-like 3rd and 2, get your quarterback smashed up, but plays like this one, 1st down, even 2nd down, favorable situations where the defense is not expecting quarterback run to where you're minimizing some of the hits he might take. Not a pass here, but a little bit of bonus of some pro-style football under center. Going to get a little fullback dive right here, right? Let's check this out. It's been a while since we've seen this at Florida. But I would bet you're going to see stuff like this at Florida, for sure. I mean, again, I love under center. I've long desired for under center to be here at Florida. There's a reason why it's lasted in the NFL forever. It is so difficult to defend any kind of play action off of under center plays, especially when you're as versatile, formation-wise, personnel-wise, as Faulkner is. And there is your fullback dive right there with the fake pitch to the outside. So you're always threatening something else. And then, of course, the offensive line going to work here, power run, touchdown. All right, late in the game now. You've got Georgia Tech way up in this one, 40-something to not a lot. But it's still time to score, much like Steve Spurrier here. Let's go play action. And let's go back to this deep over concept, right? Let's get another deep over. We missed it earlier. Set your feet in the pocket here. Wait on the throw. Again, a lot of the drop depth we've seen so far is not super clean. To me, right? The timing of this, you'd like to be a little better. Like right here when his right foot hits, he's in no way ready to make this throw yet. He's too early on that. And this could be intentional for all I know. Again, just generally speaking, if this is your primary target, you're too early. You're waiting now. Momentum is lost, right? If anything, you'd like to see him take one more step here and have his set step be here and then drive. Timing a little off, whatever. Again, I'm not privy to the play information exactly what the step count is, but I would say here timing's a little off, right? He's got to wait, and now he gets a hand in his face, and he can't drive through this. Look at the finish. Look at where he is. One more step back, set his foot on the right, on time. He's got that throw there, but he can't do it. Doesn't happen, right? So, for me, don't love that. But the ball itself, going to be underthrown. Again, he's got him for 6 here. If he can really rip this thing, this is a long throw. Look where he's throwing from, basically the 30, right? So we're already traveling 40 yards in the air right there. It's going to wind up being about 46 yards from a standstill with the guy in his face. So again, he's got enough arm. He does put the ball to the proper side for this to still be complete. And of course, you can underthrow this ball right to the area he did when your receiver has that kind of lead. But you're not going to get these kind of windows versus, of course, premier opponents. And if you do get that ball's got to get thrown out in front for 6. But timing issue there to me more so than anything else. Does complete this pass, and it goes for a big chunk play, but not a touchdown. It's always very important as a quarterback to make the easy throws, and the easy throws are going to be your behind the line of scrimmage throws. Like we saw Lagway struggle with this. We've seen other quarterbacks struggle with this. But again, Philo's quick game to me might be the best part of his game so far, footwork and timing-wise. Notice again, quick game right here. Snap, feet set, wide in here, shoulders to the target as far as his feet are aligned to where he's going with the football, and then drive it in there. Watch this. Quick release, boom, good finish. Really nice snap right there. I think it's probably his best looking really throw from start to finish. Footwork, finish, flick, boom. Perfect ball. In stride, on time, and then that sets the play up. And then you're going to wind up getting a touchdown out of that, right? Almost touchdown. But that does not happen. Again, the funny thing about screens are it does take a perfect pass. You throw this ball behind him. If this ball is behind him, if it's high, if it's too far in front, you don't get this. But because you get the absolute perfect ball, good velocity, this block runs him out as he's coming forward before your blockers engage here. Timing is perfect. Timing is absolutely perfect. And there you go. Again, overmatched opponent, but still. It's really, really good technique there on the screen. Goal line under center again. Fullback this time. Let's see. First down and goal from the 1. Nah, let's just go straight to the halfback here. ISO that on in. Touchdown again, Georgia Tech. Last play of the game now that I'm going to show you. Last play of the game on offense for Georgia Tech. And they, why not revisit what we've already seen just hit absolute pay dirt in this game for Georgia Tech? Well, it's going to hit it again. This time, though, we're going screen. We're going to motion the running back out, so we're basically in an empty look here now. We're not even going to threaten that counter. Going to pull the guard across to pick up this block and then stick this screen here. Now, what's interesting about this is not a home run look for this play per se. You do have a guy down low here. You're going to engage him. He's going to get off and then get to here. But it becomes a home run because of what happens here. Right, they're going to move into run fit and get caught in empty on a screen. Now, why would you do this? Well, Georgia Tech will run the ball with the quarterback. I would just say it's a really bad defensive call here from Gardner-Webb. Really bad, really poor choice. But regardless, perfect call from Georgia Tech in this situation. And now, again, quick game, A+ technique on Philo. This is absolutely perfect. That seems so easy. It should be so easy for quarterbacks to do. I promise you it's not. We've looked at a lot of quick game. A lot of guys struggle with it. Perfect. Crouch low. Bam. Flick it in there right on the numbers. And now you've crushed this block here. Take a look at the action coming from your left tackle. Love to get a left tackle on a safety. Left tackles, this is what they have fun doing. You want to have fun at the offensive line now? Come play at Florida. You're going to wind up getting to blow up safeties, right? Come take that guy out. No way you're not going to win that battle. And now he's like, oh man, I've caught a little behind the line of scrimmage pass here and I see nothing but sweet green gas. Meanwhile, you get a pancake, you put that on film, bury a guy. That's really fun. You're going to love that. And then we're gone. As long as we've got the wheels here, yep, we got it, right? 6. Nice finish there for 6. Little exclamation point there on the game. And that's the work we've seen from Philo for 2025. So I would say all in all, there's some things he does really, really well. Of course, his screen technique, quick game technique is really good. Footwork, finish, throw, accuracy, really, really good. He can throw on the run. Deep balls in this game weren't so great. He does have the arm for it. They weren't so great. Timing a bit off at times. Reading the field, I think, is the biggest question mark for me right now from what I've seen. There could have been a lot of development and can be a lot of development before we get to the 2026 season. But I haven't seen anything that I'm like, wow, he's really a natural reader of the football field right now. That's not to say he isn't. Very small sample size here. But the film would not display. He's got a great knack for reading the football field. He is more of a gunslinger, as we've seen. He can throw on the run. So I'd say right now it's a mixed bag where the jury is out. I think it's very much an open competition between Tramel Jones and Philo. Philo with an advantage because he knows the offense so well. But I think there's things Tramel does that are gonna push Philo to have to beat him out. And the question then for Tramel is how quickly can he catch up to where Philo is with the offense. But I think it's wide open. I wouldn't say I've seen anything on film where it's like, hey, Philo's got a big advantage here on Tramel. I think it's going to be a wide open competition. That's my own personal belief. And we're going to find out which one of these quarterbacks wins the job. But I certainly hope that you enjoyed this film review. Of course, any questions, comments, feedback, leave it, let me know, and I'll get back to you. As always, go Gators. And until next time, I'm James DiVirgilio of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. Continue to enjoy the offseason.